So today I want to talk about when I came out of the closet and also just kind of in general talking about being gay. So I'm going to go all the way back to when I was a kid because I think most people start to realize they're gay at a very young age, usually before, I think even like before puberty maybe. I started realizing it when I was in third or fourth grade, so however old that is, maybe 10 years old. Not sure. This is also before I even knew the word gay or what it meant, anything like that. I didn't really find out that until junior high when I started getting teased. That's when I started realizing like the full picture of what it was going that was going on with me and however you want to put it. So when I was in third and fourth grade, there was a kid at my school. He wasn't in my class, but I knew him from like recess and just every year getting the yearbook and finding his picture. I liked him. I thought he was cool. I liked the clothes he wore. I liked how he styled his hair. I liked to look at him. I wanted to be his friend, but I was too scared, too nervous. So I don't think I ever actually did have a conversation with him. But it never occurred to me that those feelings were wrong or that I never thought about that much other than just thinking I like this kid. So anyway, that was that. And I think after sixth grade, my parents moved us to another suburb when we changed school districts, and I started attending Osseo. Um, and so I had no friends. I didn't know anyone, which is hard when you're like 12, 13 years old to start making friends at that age. And then on top of that, I was definitely different. I was really shy, quiet, and very feminine. And right away, like on the school bus and in gym class, I was just terrorized. At least that's how it felt. Being teased, called faggot, homo. Um, I had kids throw their underwear at me in the gym locker room. Um, they used to like push me around, and I was told my shoes were gay. Um, my clothes were gay, my walk was gay, my hair was gay, everything about me. So I became intensely self conscious, and like I just remember like every day, every action, every move, I was so self conscious of how my behavior, and I was trying so hard to manipulate it and to control it and to lower my voice as much as I could and to not smile and not be flamboyant and control my lisp. And I mean, the teasing kept happening, but and I knew that I could not be that way because no one would like me. I mean, I remember being in health class in I think eighth or ninth grade, and someone, um, like I don't know how they did it, like with a knife or something, but they kind of etched into the desktop, "AIDS kills fags," and like I just remember like feeling completely cut off and alone, like there was no one but myself. And yeah, I even felt that way at home. It was just not the fault of my parents. It's just what happens, I think, when you're growing up gay, you just feel completely isolated from the rest of the world that no one could possibly understand. And also at this time, there wasn't things like Will and Grace or I don't know. There really wasn't any gay. I don't. Elton John was not even out or George Michael. So this is like late '80s, early '90s. Again, I'm getting towards the part where I do come out because I came out right after or right during high school. And in high school, like people kind of, I don't want to say they stopped teasing me, but it kind of less and less people seemed to care. I was able to make some friends, mostly my senior year, and things got easier. I found out my senior year that another one of my friends was gay, and it wasn't like he came out. It was very like subtle. I just remember one of my friends mentioning it casually in a conversation, and I remember in my head being like, "What?" I tried to hide that, and I was like, "Oh, like I didn't know that." And they're like, "Oh yeah, well he is." And things like that, little things like that, gave me a lot more confidence because I all those years even though I was trying to suppress it, it was still there, and I couldn't get rid of it. You just can't. And you know, it's so hard to put into words. But for me, coming out, the most difficult part, it isn't telling your friends, it's not telling your family, it's accepting it inside. It's really, really, really hard. At some point my senior year, though, I just came to terms with it and realized like the good outweighed the bad. I wanted to be happy, and most of my junior high and high school experience was really, really unhappy. So I decided to move on. And the first person I chose to come out to was a kid that was a grade younger than me that I had a crush on. He was in wrestling and he rode my bus, and I like really thought out every aspect of it. Like I remember being, oh, now that it's a lot of years have passed, I can't recall all of it, but we were in my bedroom together, just the two of us, and it was either like the week before or the week of my graduation party. And I don't know what we were doing or how I brought it up, but I basically told him that I was gay, and I told him that I liked him. Like wham, right there. And he was very, very comfortable and cool about it. Like he didn't freak out. He was very, I don't know. He did tell me though that he wasn't gay, but I think he like gave me a hug or something and said he was cool with it, and that was that. And so that was my first experience of telling someone I was gay. And then after that, I decided to tell my inner circle of friends, which was basically two people. And then and then after that, and me and those two other friends, we started doing a lot more together, going to gay clubs. It was a very exciting summer for me, just being myself and going out and, I don't know, just being myself. And then summer ended, and it was fall, and I started to realize that I needed to tell my parents, my family. No one in my family knew at this point, and I'd been out to the majority of my friends for months. So I decided I didn't want to have to like tell them all individually, so I told them at dinner when we were all together. And I remember it was like a Thursday night because that night I was going out to the club, and I can't remember what I told my parents I was doing when I was going out to the club. I think I told them I was going dancing, but I don't think they knew it was a gay club. I actually can't remember now. Maybe I should just ask them. They'll probably remember. But the coming out to my parents was incredibly anticlimactic. I was very nervous that day, but not up until like an hour before I knew I was going to do it. Most of the day I was like whatever. But we were at dinner. I think I even remember what we were eating for dinner. My mom made this hot dish where it's like beef on the bottom and then green beans in the middle and then potatoes on top, mashed potatoes. It's like I don't know what it's called, but it's almost like a shepherd's pie kind of thing. I said something melodramatic because that's just how I am. I said something like, "I have something to tell everyone," and my mom looked up and said, "Oh, we know," and I was like, "What?" And she was like, "Oh, we've always known." And I was just like dumbfounded. I didn't know what to say, and they were still eating. And my brother and sister, I remember being kind of confused and not sure what we were talking about because I think one of them actually asked, "What are you guys talking about?" And one of my parents, I want to say my dad, but it might have been my mom, said, "Oh, your brother's gay." And I was like, "Well, that's that." I don't even have to say the word. I didn't. I never actually even said the word gay. My mom said it for me, so. And this actually reminds me of one other thing. The A couple of the people I told when I first came out, the people that I was more nervous with their reaction, I said I was bisexual. I think it was just like a small handful of people, and it was my parents too, because my mom said that I was, "Your brother's gay." I said, "Well, I think I'm bisexual," and that just felt safer to me. And I can't tell you why, because I actually think being bisexual is a lot more confusing than being gay, but it felt safer to say, "Hey, there's a portion of me that's straight. There's a portion of me that's like you." So, but I quickly stopped doing that after like two or three times of saying that because it just felt stupid to lie. Um, yeah, so that was coming out to my parents. I didn't have to come out to the rest of my family. I mean, my cousins and grandparents and aunts and uncles. I mean, my family was pretty close then. We're still close now, but we were a lot closer then. the extended family, and that year there was Christmas, and it didn't come up. It wasn't like people were talking about like, oh, there's Jesse, he's gay now. But everyone just, I mean, I don't know, it's how to explain it, but I never had to, and you shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to go around telling everyone I'm gay. I think what it really is I think the really important steps of coming out are accepting it to yourself, telling the people closest to you, because I think you do need that. It's kind of cathartic to just tell someone that you've always known. And most often, if they've known you long enough and they know you well enough, they're just going to say, oh yeah, I knew. Like, we were waiting for you to, on your own time. But, I don't know. It felt very, very liberating to come out. But, yeah. And so, I could go on and probably talk some more about it, but right at the moment, I've run out of thoughts, so I'm just going to stop it here.